Hello, go tell it on the mountain, over the field and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain. All right, the good news is you can do some good in this world. Bad news is evil exists, though it is rare. Uh, we're peeking a little bit behind the curtain here. Figured a few things out. Some people want to know, are we living in a simulation? Yes and no, I think. Now, why would I say that? It's for real. We're playing for keeps. But there's a big programmer, the great architect in the sky. That set the program to running. And there's a bunch of these evil hackers out there that thought it'd be fun. Throw some cheat codes in the mix and see how the little monkeys on this planet freak out. Let's just drop in a little chaos, see what happens. Let's put in a random spawn point and see if the monkeys start clubbing each other to death. I'd say it probably worked. So I had a dream. A lot of men have dreams. A lot of women have dreams. We as human beings try to make sense of the world. Some great philosophers said that dreams are your leisurely private opportunity to go insane. What am I getting at? All right, so the golden rule still applies. Make a joyful noise. That's about what it's all about. See the humor in the stupid, in the chaotic, and the bizarre. Point it out, laugh at it. You see bad going on. Hey, that ain't right. Hey, be nice. And then, if people ain't playing nice, you gotta. Like my grandpa says, I said be nice. um, so yeah, like all the stories are true. I mean, Loki's out there messing with it, trying to get more power. People get teased, get a little power, think they can get away with it, but there will be a great reckoning. So the grand architect that wrote the program, all the little demon hackers floating around out there in whatever extra dimensional space and time, whatever in the multiverse, are reaching over into our universe, hitting a couple of keys. Playing our emotions like a fiddle, and they think they're getting away with something. They're corrupting the system. So they think. Meanwhile, the guy who wrote the program says, well, that's interesting. Not only the hackers playing, they're playing unfair. Well, that's bad. That boy right there gets a demerit. And at the end of days, when the great creator of the computer, the fellow, well, the being, I don't want to generalize this, uh, pretty sure you get out in the great beyond. Gender is the last thing of importance. It's about love. Love each other. Be nice. Anyway, so the grand architect is going to turn the switch off. The hacker's going to be like, no, wait, but I hacked the power grid. They can't turn this game off. I'm still playing. I almost won. If you will. The finger interface, like Elon Musk says, is a very poor bandwidth interface to play the game, let alone program the computer. So they program the computer with their quote mind. How I see it. And peeking behind the curtain, looking at the machinations of the whole system. So that whole biblical revelation stuff about all the bad, the 1/3 or so of the fallen angels, and they're doing bad. By their deeds you shall know them. Well, that don't just apply to us. That applies to these quasi-omnipotent beings that are playing with the program. Perhaps rebuilding architecture as they go. The one that set up the architecture, the one that invented the physics to build the architecture for the computer that the program is running on, is just sitting back to see who behaves badly. And those people will get cast into the lake of fire in the next big bang, how I see it. Weed those immortal souls out of the mix, blow them up. Game over. Who's the big comedian now? Loki? I don't think so. It's the one with the finger on the button, and I don't mean the nuclear football either. I mean, that's just smoke and mirrors. We think we have power. Not even close. We're only just able to harness the power of the sun for a few milliseconds, and then boom. And we ain't figured out cold fusion yet. I don't know that we will, but whatever. And I think figuring things out is great, and building more and better things, fixing the errors in our DNA code. Yeah, sure. I don't know that we should be playing with combining code from here and here. I mean, I think we can, but we have to look into the calculus of it. We have to look into the slope of the curve and say, if we edit and our edits are wrong, we're going to tell the wrong story, and that story will have power of its own as organisms take off, because that's what they do. An organism wants to survive, so you throw a mutation at it and it deals. And it's almost like the Three Stooges when they're doing plumbing. You go over here and you go, I sealed off that leak. And the system powers up a little more. There's more pressure, there's more whatever. And over here, a leak springs. So we go and fix that. It's fine. You make it to where the plumbing fixes itself, then all of a sudden you're going to have more pipes growing, and you're not running the plumbing anymore. The plumbing is its own thing. It is its own hydrologist at that point. It's figured out how to do what you done in fixing the leaks. So anyway, the great comedian is gonna flip the switch, say the joke's on you, and all you over here, you and you know who you are. All right, and it's the Great Recycler Tour, and next time we're gonna make it better, and we're gonna do another universe, and you folks don't get to play. And I think our great reward is there's no worry. You did the best you could while you were in this life. It'll be fine. You are not necessarily to blame, though you may have done bad. But you're not running a show doing bad. Now, what does that mean? Well, the implications, well, I'm not going to go into that at this point. 12 minutes in. Is there even a point? Yeah. Not only can we make the world a better place, we can make the universe a better place by being good and not listening to the stuff we know to be unnatural and corruptions of power. And when you see it happening, you say, oh, that's wrong. And the comedians say, oh, that's wrong and it's funny. And then say, it ain't that funny. Somebody got to change. And you lay some wisdom on some folks and they don't change themselves, there comes a point you have to step in and like my grandpap says, be nice. I said, be nice. I will walk your ways. And he didn't say that, but that's what he would do. I know. I was there. Shout out to Papaw. He taught me all the good he knew, and he knew a lot of good. That's our job too. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to make sure that the ones around you, the ones you love, the ones that you have any sway in their life, you say, look, you can't do that. We are all actors on the stage, as Shakespeare said. And you can be bad and act a fool on the stage, but off the stage, it's serious. You got to take your craft seriously. You got to put out a good story because there is a way to be. There's a way to not to be the Khmer Rouge, to be the Saddam Husseins of the world, to be tapping into that ultimate evil. That arsonist hacker mentality that just wants to see the world burn. Well, they'll get to see it. They'll get to see their own world burn when the great tabulation reckoning happens at the end of days. There'll be dancers at the end of time, and there's going to be people that are swan diving into the lake of fire too, whether they want to or not. They're just going to be pulled in. They're not going to have any choice. They think, I'll fly out. I got wings. Well, no, you don't. Not the wings ain't no good when there ain't no air. And the one that wrote the program invented the air. And gravity is not just a good idea, it's the law. And you're going to be sucked into that lake of fire. And everything is going to be recycled. You will cease to exist. I believe that the great I am is existence itself. And that is as best we can understand it with our feeble brains. Best these synapses can bring it all together. Speaking of feeble brains, I got a little bit of headache. I'm going to chew on some aspirin. Y'all don't mind? Just a little bit. I'm on blood thinners. But, yeah. So there. Couple little baby aspirin. So spread some good in the world. We're all just actors on the stage. You can tell a bad story on the stage. Tell it well. And you're not telling a story to lie. It is a morality play. Or at least it should be. I think the nihilist don't write the script so that the whole idea is to be evil. I think. I mean, I guess you can, but you better be able to point out off stage. I get a little choked up about some of this stuff. You better be able to point out off stage that, okay, there's a moral to the story. That's be good, be nice. You tell a nihilistic story, but it's no good. And something in our beings we know ain't no good coming out of that. Uh, all the world is a stage. We are in a sim, so to speak. That's one way of describing it. And one of the great problems is, I think, the ones running the show, the great Yahweh, I am, etc., Allah, all about the temple of the shrine. It's hard for us to see the game in the middle of it, and when we do, we think, oh, it's about winning the game. No, it's about doing the right things in the game. It's okay for Mel Brooks peeling the onion. Sorry, that's a fiddly thing I do. I have a little pocket knife. So Mel Brooks, the producers, it's okay to sing "Springtime for Hitler." I just want peace, a little piece of Poland. All right, so if you're pointing out the farce of being evil, it's okay to celebrate evil in a very limited context. I think that's the job of a comedian, to point out the evils of the world by showing it and showing how ridiculous it is. And in order for the point to be driven home, it has to be entertaining to keep our childish minds involved in the storyline. Just by editing, you're telling a lie. I take a little piece here. All right, like Jefferson did with the Bible. Cut off that, and you tell your own story, and that's fine. But the point of the story had better be boiling down to the golden rule in some fashion. I mean, you can come at it from a derivative angle where you do the calculus and say, this is headed that way, and that's bad. It's headed that way, and that's bad. It's heading that way, and that's bad. So you need to draw those lines out for folks, because we have to be smashed over the head with the truth to see it the 10th time. We don't even see it the first 5 times it smacks us in the face. You know, that's what he did with, with Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is not a racist movie. Blazing Saddles portrays racism in the most ridiculous, saturated way. What you want, I want you to know it. I love you. Got nothing but love for you. Part of why I do my art is to make more beautiful things in the world. At some point, I thought I'd given up on the world. I hadn't. I just died. I was hurt, pulled back, re-examined. I switched the flip, as I say in the Red, the, uh, the character in the movie Red, retired extremely dangerous. Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren. Yeah. So tell a good story. Point out the bad stuff. Do it with good humor, and make a change for the better. And I think that's how we keep those evil influences from corrupting the game further. And perhaps in the extension of this reality beyond our perception of it within our lifetime, we're going to get to play some of the script writers. We're going to play it at being existence itself, being the architecture on which the program runs. I think if you're good, you get the chance to go to the next level, the outer dimensions. There's 4 dimensions that we can perceive easily. As our mind is standardly put together. You know, the 3 dimensions, length, width, and height, and then time. You know, our 3-dimensional world as it goes through time. And we edit what happens around us. We run this program in the back of our head, in our subconscious, as we live our life. You still got to eat, still got to breathe. Still have to exist while you figure this stuff out. I believe there's great mercy out there for us. I think you're forgiven for the honest mistakes. A dog gets beat, and the dog wants the beating to stop. However that can happen, well, that worked. We are a product of evolution, but we can rise above that and be the programmers of evolution in a, not here per se, other than by influencing the acting we do on the stage. Do not be a bad actor. I don't just mean a good story told badly, which might be part of it, but also don't have a great idea to do a bad thing and then do it. Little Chaos is fantastic. I'm telling you, there's rules. The blues, jazz is chaotic, but it's still you got to land on a note every now and then so people can follow along. So tell you the truth, but make sure it's good. Sing it. That's why I call this Go Tell It on the Mountain. Get up there. Get on up. Get on up. Yeah. Ow. Thank you, James Brown. Y'all can't see what I'm doing here. I'm dancing in my chair. I know it's goofy, but it sure is fun. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with expressing love and joy. And it ain't nothing wrong with expressing exasperation in the blues as long as you don't make it all about the depression. The depression ain't the main story. It is, you can make it through this. You have the knowledge and the tools to draw a more perfect circle, to bring all that around and make it beautiful and as perfect as humanly possible, and perhaps even better than perfect than human. I believe that we can transcend into something that is godlike. And as a matter of fact, not only can we, should we? Yes, we should. Embrace those scary, all powerful things at the edge of the envelope of technology, but do it with wisdom, control, and don't let it out of control. I think that's why some very, very smart people are very, very afraid of AI, because all you're doing is creating another goat, another greatest of all time, another God of all things. It's worse than turning the key over to a drunk driver, because, a drunk driver can go out and kill somebody, and it's awful. It is tragic. And it will bring anybody down. But what is worse is someone that is completely cogent, sober, and in control behind the wheel, mowing people down in the street. Now that is evil. Now, I'm not saying the drunk driver ain't embracing evil. They are. How do I know? I've seen it. Bad news, evil's out there. Good news, it's rare. And you don't have to go grab it. You can leave it be, sidestep it, avoid it, teach others how to avoid it. I think like GMOs in and of themselves are not evil. You just better be not only sure what you're doing, but what it will do in the next generation. And I mean, it's a big responsibility. Because if you don't know what it's going to do in the next generation, you sure don't know what it's going to do 5,000 generations from now when it gets on a roll like butter. Be the jelly in your roll. It's on a roll. It's going with it on its own. It's got legs. It's moving. And you're not writing a program anymore. But you did. You wrote the program. At least you thought you did. You didn't write the program that you thought you wrote. So yeah, yes, yes, technology, wisely. Elon Musk is a smart guy, and he is scared of AI because he's smart enough to take it out a couple of powers. He looks at his graph. He doesn't just see the graph. He sees the area under the line. He sees the person drawing the line. He sees the direction it's going. and all the other graphs out there. And there's a point where it goes off the rails. We need to be the master of technology and not its servant. Uh, somebody, somebody needs to know where the off switch is. These stories we write, the Frankensteins and on Star Trek, when Data goes off, he's got a little switch in the back because that android is very powerful. Because human beings are very powerful. Figure it out. Do something good with it. Be nice. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Obviously, that's good advice. Sounds like good advice because it is. You get yourself a good idea. Think about its implications. Do good things for the future of humanity. Make more people happy, less people angry. And the less people that are angry and just scratching to survive, like an animal, like a plant growing out of control, just trying to not die, just trying to seek the next sunlight of the next day, that's fine. If that plant provides nourishment to the world, that's great. We get a plant that doesn't want to die, that, can feed everybody and still be fine. That's great. What you don't want is the poison ivy Venus flytrap kudzu crossbreed that wants to feed us so it can poison us, grows nearly uncontrollably. Yeah. Makes us, its slave, its food source. So why would a plant poison a smart monkey? So this smart monkey dies, gets recycled back in the soil, and becomes fertilizer, so that the plant can keep on planting, sowing seeds. Hey, ooh. So make that joyful noise. And you can talk about the bad stuff on the dung heap of life. Try not to cuss here. So it ain't easy. Oh, there was my phone. Should probably turn off notifications and stuff before you start before you go live on the video for your podcast, huh? Whatever. Going live. So you come out of that tunnel, birth canal. I think some of us are cogent before we even hit the daylight. Some point, the really smart ones figure out we're not like everybody else, and we are, but there's stuff going on in the background processor that other people don't have. So you have to have to be responsible. Be a good citizen of the universe, this one and the next. All of them. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? All of them. All right, I will use one cuss word. I'll tell you that. Be an optimist, but be pragmatic about it and know what you're looking for. My throat's a little dry. What am I looking for? I'm looking for sustenance. Good thing. Oh, good I set my tea to boiling. Well, I set the water to boiling. Uh, I'm not saying I'm not crazy, but I'm just crazy enough to make sense. So, how do you know I'm speaking out of a good place? I guess you don't, actually. But I'm telling you some principles that I think are self evident. And the sciences go with the evidence. Well, where does that lead you? Well, some people it leads to some dark places. I think it's important to think about that, but you got to be an optimist. Absolutely look for the dark places. Look for the pitfalls, the crevasses in the ices. Look for the holes. Dance around them. Boogie. Boogie through time. Don't walk this interesting journey. I mean dance. Let the sun shine on you. How do you do that? Well, I ain't saying it's easy. Well, I'm saying it's simple, but it ain't easy. Ooh, that's the big joke. You can beat a big man on campus. Uh, and get her done. Got her dead. That ain't the answer. I mean, it's part of it. You go with the tools you got. You do you. I can't make you do somebody else because you don't know. All you know is you. We all have prejudices. Our experiences inform our judgment, and we prejudge. We go into the current situation, this point in time, we're marching along with all our time before. Everybody talks about doing time. We're all doing time, just some of us are free. And we're all prejudiced a little bit. You know, you just don't like that. You just don't like it. You may not know why. And your reason why may be very bad. And that you got to weed that out. You got to pull that weed. You can't. I mean, kudzu is a great thing, and it is great. It's got vitamins and minerals and everything else. Uh, you could probably live on it pretty much indefinitely. Uh, it's probably a complete food. But man, I mean, I think there's more to life than eating kale soup and salad. I mean, that's fine. I like a little bit of kale, but you know, I don't know if you looked at me, but I like a little bit of everything. It's all good. All the good is good, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You know, there's that moderation. So, where are we all going? Well, I don't know where you're going. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to even tell you what the options are, because I don't know. But what I believe is that there is something. There are definitely dimensions upon which we are not able to build with this mind that we have currently in its current state anyway. Perhaps we can reach out with various augmentation, whether it's chemical or spiritual. Emotional. Um, and touch those next dimensions and have them well, I think they're touching us already, just some of us are not aware of it. The sun shines on everything. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. Question is, what are you going to grow? That's what I'm trying to tell you. And who are you going to feed it to? Well, people say, I just want to be like everybody else. I don't. I want some preferential treatment. I've been like everybody else. I like to get treated special every now and then. But it ain't all about that. It ain't all about being special. You are, but that don't give you a right to try and rule everybody else's life. You can't take someone else's freedom just because you're special. You gifted. Congratulations. Now what? You gonna draw me a pretty picture? Or are you just gonna scribble on the walls? You gonna use that talent? Cook me the best grits that ever was. You do that? I like grits. Done right. Done wrong. They about sawdust. I'm making my tea. Did I tell you? Y'all just play amongst yourselves for a little bit. Selah. Meditate. Think about it for a minute. For a hot minute. Been entertaining yourself for a long time. You can do it for another 30 seconds. You want to listen to the fellow's words? Every now and then you got to let him clear his throat. That's right. See what I'm doing here? This is breaking the fourth wall. I don't know if you know that. I might not even be doing nothing over here. I might have made this tea 3 hours ago. You don't know. So it ain't up to you to figure it all out necessarily. I do need to clear my throat. What are you going to do with it? You've got some tools. Are you going to look up the sky with your hammer and say, I can't whatever to the sky itself? I can't build a Tower of Babel to the sky with this hammer? Well, use that hammer and a screwdriver and a soldering iron and build yourself a space shuttle and go to the stars. Don't complain about the tools you have. Use the tools you have to make more sophisticated and refined and delicate tools. And with that delicate tools, play me a new song, would you? Make it party. Yeah. The blues ain't about feeling bad. It's I'm feeling bad, but you ain't gonna win. That's right. Get on down and funky with it. And that's fine. It's not the devil's music unless you do something bad with it. The music ain't the problem. It's those imperfect, immoral, irrational, and untrustworthy people that are playing the music and dancing with the music. Most of us just want to dance with the music. People on the ends out here and out here, some want to make better music. They need to understand this music first, and they're going to take it to the next level. Some over here, and they just like the funky and the chaos. And they're not about the music. They're about destruction and sowing evil. On this end of the bell curve, there's a few. And we need to weed them out. How are you going to do that? Well, I think there are a few, as a variety, there are so many varieties of ways to weed out the bad. Maybe you got a vine that's growing in a way that you don't like. It's robbing nutrients from the stuff you're trying to grow, whether that's nasturtium, roses, tomatoes, cucumbers. Maybe you're just growing hay, whatever. But there's something you want to grow. So you go in there, you kill the vine, you poison, you poison the ground that the vine is growing in. Well, that's no good because you want to grow something in that soil. Sorry, I'll try not to beat on the table and jiggle the camera around. Fourth wall break. All right, everybody take 5. Just meditate. Relax. All right, so you can't poison the ground. You pull the weed. Well, I mean, that works if you can get to it. Uh, Maybe you should just transplant the weed and put it over here, let it be happy. Maybe train it into something beautiful. Let the let this wild vine do its thing over here where it's not going to affect what you're the good you're looking to do. So one philosophy of mine is just to deny the bad access to the middle of the program. Push it off to the sides. Eventually, it gets less light, it gets weaker, or whatever. Whatever it does is outside of your scope of focus. You stay here and transplant the weed. You don't have to kill it. You're kind-hearted. And also, if you're going to kill it, compost it. Don't waste it. I think that's what the grand architect of everything, of existence itself, is doing. Letting these bad actors act, and there will be a reckoning. They will be recycled, and hopefully next time around, their constituent parts will be something good in the next cycle. A righteous recycling. So pick the weeds. Don't poison the whole ground just to kill a weed. Uh, Intent matters, but it's not just about it. It's not any means to an end. That is an evil unto itself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Um, be about some serious business, but you gotta laugh, love, eat. In order to do any good, you need to be good. You need to be good enough to survive. You need to take care of yourself. Be nice. I said be nice. So, philosophy of the mind. Push the weeds to the side, transplant them, get them out of your richest ground. If they make it, they make it. Maybe they can be something beautiful on their own. Turns out, what you thought was a weed was a beautiful flower. You just don't want it in the middle of your wheat, cotton, taters, beans, and maters. Be productive, of course. Of course. It's not about the money. The money is about doing some good in this world. It's just a registry of the things that you have done that are worth something. And cache, as in CACHE, not Johnny Cash. We cache this value, store it over here. Put it in a mason jar, dig a hole, throw it in, bury it, come back to that hole, and then go buy something else to do some good with. All right, so push the weeds to the side. But pay attention to them and know they're there. And what you thought was a weed might turn out to be something beautiful under the right circumstances. Maybe it's just a weed when it's grown in full sunlight in the middle of a wheat field. You put it over here in a little bit of shade, and it turns into a beautiful morning glory with fragrant flowers. But that morning glory making its way all through your fancy wheat field, no good. It doesn't add anything. It only takes. Don't monocrop your life either. Man cannot live by bread alone. Huh. Wonder where that come from. Wonder if that ain't good. Yeah, so experiment within reason. You put the same thing in the soil and grow it over and over again. You're going to get what you're after, and that can be a good thing. Have concentrated areas. You do, I mean, I've studied farming practically my whole life, and that's how you develop new strains. You work. You have a large population, then you go in and pick out. You do unnatural selection on it. Just make sure that you're making the good stuff in balance, etc. So yeah, it's not strange that Leonardo da Vinci was good at art and science, because they are not different things. And I want to let that soak in for a second. So the art is the science. He didn't waste time when he could have been doing art by doing science. He didn't waste time by doing art when he could have been doing science. He didn't waste time doing science when he could have been doing art. He didn't. It was all that circle of life within his mind. He was using the left brain and the right brain together. He wrote. See, he wrote with his left hand, backwards mirror script, by the way, and drew with his right hand all at the same time. You think you're good till you try to do what the best can. It looks easy. I'm sure he made it look easy. I guarantee you he made it look easy. I'm sure people hate him for it, because there's going to be haters. All right. Prancing around wearing his pink and purple. He was all that in a bag of chips. Mona Lisa, you think you know what a smile is? Mona Lisa. Son! How good can you be? Well, it's hard to say. But keep trying to be as good as you can. Be nice to one another. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's simple, but it ain't easy. So the pessimist and the optimist. The psychologist is doing an experiment on an animal. He has this horse, this pony. He wants to see some of the recognition going on the psychiatrist. So he's going to do an experiment. He has these two identical twins. Going to introduce the horse, My Little Pony, to the twins and measure the reaction to the behavior of the pessimist versus the optimist. Look the same. He puts them in the same clothes. He sends pessimist twin into the stable. And there's the pony. He locks the door. Gives a few minutes alone. Has the camera running. The pessimist looks in there, goes over in the corner, sits down. Timid, afraid, perhaps. Like to the point where the psychologist is no longer studying the animal. Well, not the furriest of the two mammals in the room. The one walking on 2 feet. Are you all right? Well, why didn't you interact with the pony? I didn't know if the pony was for me. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I know maybe the pony might be mean. He looks pretty, but I don't know. So I just sat down over here until somebody came and got me. So the pessimist didn't do anything bad. The experimenter didn't get to see the experiment wanted to see. Alright, well, it's a result. So we're still doing science here. Leads the pessimist out of the stable. Goes back in the waiting area of the barn. And here's the optimist twin in there. Just covered. He's in this giant manure pile. He's throwing manure everywhere. And he's like frantic. Breathing hard. Just digging through. I mean, it's everywhere. This guy's like, oh, man, that is the worst smell ever. Being a scientist, though, what's going on here? The psychologist says to the optimist twin, all right, well, what are you doing? And the optimist twin does not stop digging in the manure. He's going scientist is like, hey, what are you doing? Oh. With all this shit, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. So what did we learn? Hey, all you got shit, look for the pony. Be realistic about it. You know, you get down to the bottom of the pile, there ain't no pony, maybe she looks somewhere else. Be there for your friends. You don't know what to do. Of course you don't. When things get bad, they're real bad. And you might be no account. I mean, really, you might have failed this friend of yours over and over, and you're worried about you, so you say, I'd like to go over there and help them and just be with them. And I don't know what to do. And, you know, there was that time, 27 years ago, when I did that, and, that was bad. I still love them. They still love me, but, I don't want to be judged. So don't worry about people judging you. Go do the right thing anyway. Go be with your friend when they need you. Period. Because you only have so many friends. More people joining in. And we hit the hour mark. I'll let you go here in just a second. Know that there's good. Do good. Do as much good as you can, but make sure you don't forget about the people you love right next to you. Make sure you do everything you can to the ones right there. And even when you can't do nothing, be there for them. Because you might be able to do something that you didn't even know you could. And you'd have never found out if you weren't there for them. Nobody ever knowed if you could do any more good. Including you. You prejudged yourself. You were prejudiced against your own mind, your own good nature. You prejudged the situation. You set yourself up for failure by not even showing up. Show up for your friends because they need you. I don't care how strong they are. They need you. One of the problems is we have a sliding baseline of needs. You like, I got that taken care of. Okay. I'm not hungry anymore. I know where my next meal is coming from. I got a roof over my head. I'm moving up the pyramid. I got the in Maslow's hierarchy. I'm moving up the pyramid. Well, once you get all that and everything's good, now what? Are you just going to be a person of leisure, a man about town, a lady about town? Are you just going to while your hours away? I mean, everybody needs some time off, I think. You can't, Atlas shrugged. You can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders every millisecond of the universe. We are finite, as far as we can tell, in this part of our existence. Don't prejudge yourself. Show up. Do the best you can for the people you love. Don't spread yourself too thin. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. There may be times you have to sacrifice a little bit, but there's usually an answer that's somewhere in between where you can sacrifice a little short term for what you want long term, which is for your friends to be good, for the people you love, for your loved ones, for those you care about to be good, to be all right. You say, well, what do you do when they're dying? Well, they're dying. So, can you stop that? Well, if you can, you should probably stop your buddy from dying. If you can't, don't leave. Don't just leave them there to die. So I don't want to watch them die. Well, there's a lot of things you don't want to do. I've watched a few people die. It sucks. I'm glad they didn't die alone. I was there with them. Y'all be good. Take care of one another. Remember, we're all in this together. We can get this hive mind together. We might be able to convince the folks that are doing bad to stop doing it and come back out and play in the light and make a joyful noise and make us all a little better. Make the world a better place. Start with yourself, but don't just stay on yourself. Take care of everything that you can, but know your limitations. You know you were born, right? Okay. Don't waste this go around. Probably the only one we get. Even if we do get another go around, I don't want to screw this one up. Who's that going to help? I don't think we get another go around here, but we get to go on or not. I don't know. I think some of us just cease to exist. that really ought to. They're just so bad, or just give up. The ultimate pessimist, I think, is all right. I'm not going to judge. So anyway, that's one of my faults. Prejudice is not your fault. It's my fault. I need to teach that out of you. He says to the man in the mirror, y'all behave best you can. Even when you misbehave, it don't hurt nobody else, all right? If you do, if you can, you go and you apologize and you be for real. You get down on it and tell them, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. I think I do, some of it. You say, I'm sorry. I did not mean to hurt you. And if in your heart of hearts, you know that actually you did mean to hurt them, well, you probably shouldn't even bother apologizing right away. I don't know. Maybe you should and just say, I'm going to work on it. But regardless, you got to work on it. Because if you knew you were going to hurt them and you went in and hurt them anyway, well, you got a broken linkage somewhere. And you need to work on that. If you don't have the tools to fix that broken little bit of mechanism that makes you want to hurt people, you need to stop interacting with people, or you need to fix the mechanism. Don't go away till you've done something good. You can't help being ugly, but you can hide it with a beautiful song. The Elvis picture sitting on a bale of hay. He ain't good looking, but you sure can play. It's easy to talk, and you can't forget. The old brother Wheeler's getting soaking wet. See, ain't nothing but the blues. We're all in this gangster's paradise, man. You can be gangster and still get some good stuff done. That's what I'm saying. You can be a good gangster, but you can't break all the rules all the time and convince yourself that you're good. Strate, my artist friend. It's my sippy cup, my buddy calls it. Strate, which is his real name. If you switch the letters around, it spells artist. So be the architect of your own soul. See your own faults. And it's okay to get a little depressed about them, but don't stay depressed. It's your fault if you stay depressed and you know you're depressed. When you don't understand that you're depressed, it's just the way things are. Okay. I've been there, done that. It sucks. It keeps on sucking. And the gravity always wins. You can fight authority. You can't fight gravity forever. Not without limitless energy. You have that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets the blues. Now, what are you going to do about it? You know you're messed up. I know I'm messed up, all right? I ain't perfect. You know you ain't perfect. Maybe you won't admit that in public. Okay, it's fine. You do, you got to be walking tall. That's fine. I get that. My new name is Goat, the greatest of all time. I embrace that. Not because I think I'm better than anybody. Matter of fact, I know I'm not. But I know that within me is that spark that can burn a fire as bright as the greatest that have ever been. Because I believe we all have that. And just because you're broken don't mean you're worthless. Recycle yourself. All right, so you're like, I'm depressed. All right, go get some help. Tell somebody you're depressed. And talk to somebody. I don't mean text. The human voice is a joyful noise in and of itself, even if it's just moaning like Chewbacca stepped on a broken Lego. I mean, even that's beautiful, even if it sounds like something awful. Where was I? All right, so you like that? Chewbacca stepped on a broken Lego. Yeah, that's a superpower. So find the humor in the everyday, stupid and chaotic. You might be able to laugh yourself out of the depression, at least temporarily, and go talk with somebody. I mean, and laugh at how stupid you are sometimes. That's fine. That's a good thing. But don't make anything your only thing. Find a good thing to do, but don't just do that. Even if you're the best at it, you still need to take time off from that best thing ever. Because we are finite beings. We need rest. So if you're depressed, talk with somebody. Seek the help of a professional and keep seeking another professional if you have to. You're not weak because you need to take a medication to get things back on balance and centered. We're all surfing in this chaotic world, and there are waves, and there's peaks of the waves, and there's troughs of the waves, and everybody gets tossed down in the ditch, the trough of a wave every now and then. You got to make sure you keep getting up. That's why I love James Brown. Get on up. So go talk to somebody that you love and trust. Talk to a stranger that's a professional whose job it is to help people fix themselves, to learn to cope with the bad times, plow through the trough, and come back up on the crest of the wave with momentum. Uh, it's harder to figure out when you're manic. If you can't stop, that's a problem too. It's as much of a problem as being depressed and you can't start. So it's that yin and yang thing. I don't care how brilliant you are. You need to have a little dot of stupid in your brilliance and laugh at it. Keep on going. Okay. I love Eddie Bravo because he's like, I'm crazy, I'm stupid. He may be a whole lot of stupid, but he's a genius about it. Man, he dances the life away. You gotta love that. He's all in. But you do have to know when to stop. You can't be everything to everybody, even yourself, all the time. There's a day to rest. There's a time of each day to rest, to meditate. To Selah, to stop and think about it. That's Selah, by the way, the Hebrew. Selah. That's that word at the end of a lot of the Psalms. Most of the ones written, I believe, by David. Not all the Psalms are written by David, although he wrote most of them. So stop and think about it a while. You gotta stop sometimes. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. You will stop sometimes. You keep going, you might bust through the first wall and the next one and the next one. But your immovable force, isn't that great? Your unstoppable force will meet an immovable object because you ain't that great. Even though you are great, you ain't the greatest that ever was. And that's kind of the joke of being the goat is I'm not the greatest of all time. Nowhere close. I sure do want to be. I want to be that solid dude. There's a guy I know. I will not tell you his name. He passed away. And there are a lot of people shouldn't speak ill of the dead. He would laugh at this. One friend of mine said, he might be an a-hole, but I sure did love to hang out with him. He wasn't denying his faults. But he's like, I sure do love him anyway. And I miss him. Well, he's gone. So be somebody that will be missed when they gone, is what I'm saying. There's some people you know, if you never see them again, that'll be just fine. And there are people that you have known that are gone, that you would do anything to spend one BS session with them again and laugh and cry and tell those same old stories you told 35 times 2 years ago. You would give anything to do that again. Grandpap told this story about Stillhouse Holler. I heard it so many times, I got tired of it. I'd give anything to hear it one more time. Right now. Right now. You've been gone for 23 years. Be missed when you're gone. Because you're going to leave this world someday. I don't know what's going to happen when you do. For sure. I know what I believe will happen. I don't know what's going to happen with you. I believe I know what's going to happen. But whatever. All right. Everything's got to come to an end, I believe. So let's do that. Y'all be good. Be good at something. But take a time to not do anything ever. And then get back to work. All right? Oh, I done switched the camera. Every now and then you got to clamp something